welcome to day 11, I think, of Vlogmas. I'm Kay. How are you? We had quite a day. We picked up puppies. I will show you some video. I don't have great video yet because we got back sort of late, but there will be puppy video and I will tell you their names in just a little while. We got up this morning and we didn't leave early. We left about 10 and drove up to pick up the puppies, and I got some knitting time in. So I want to show you my progress. Okay, this is day 1. It's the Winter Wonder Wrap. This is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was about right here last night when I went to bed. And this is what I got done today. 7, 8, and now I'm on 9, and this is my yarn. It's this beautiful kind of orangey gold. It's really pretty. And I'm excited because the stitch pattern, pattern for this section, I think is gonna look really good in this tonal yarn. It's actually pretty true to the color. Okay, I think I had said I thought there were 12 stitch patterns that you repeat each one once. There's actually only 6. And so I'm already starting to repeat, which is great because it requires much less brain power on my part. So this was the first one. It's a star stitch. You get this really cool texture from that. Let's see if I can find ones you can see. I don't know how well you can see it, but what it amounts to is you work into so you knit into 3 stitches, or you work into 3 stitches, and you work 3 stitches before you take it off. So it doesn't change the stitch count, but it gives you this really cool kind of star or flower kind of look to it. This one's just knits and purls, but again, nice texture. This is the twisted kind of mock cable twisted stitch. It's hard to see on that. That is the one I'm going to be repeating in this. So the fact that this is close to a solid, I think will really show off this stitch nicely. This is the wrapped, the smock stitch. There was an error in the pattern, and I was suspicious of it when I was working on it, but it sort of worked, so I just did what the pattern said. And then like the next day I got a message from the designer saying it was really a minor thing in the pattern in the written instructions, but it does make a difference in how this has worked. So I left it, and I will correct it on future repeats of this. So I'm looking forward to seeing it in the corrected style. This has slipped stitches, and let's see, this one is almost like a little snowflake or flower pattern. Let's see if I can find a good one that is more obvious, like this one. Can you see it better? Right there, kind of. And then here's where I started repeating. So this is the star stitch, and this is the knits and purls. This was fun to work today. That section went really quickly. And then what I've started on now, I've got a couple of rows in. I've got the first row of the twisted stitches, and I've got a purl back. All right, so after that one is this Regia in the black and blue. So that'll be pretty dramatic. And then today's, I literally gasped when I opened this one. Look at that red. It's coming off a little pink in this light. It's not quite that pink. It is just this stunning red. Does that make any difference? No. It is Ba from La Jolla and 100% superwash merino, sealed with a kiss. Can you read that? Anyway, I am really excited about adding this one. That red is just gorgeous. I mean, there's some pink in there, but I think it looks like hot pink, and it's not really hot pink, it's much more red. So I'm very excited about that. And I think, yeah, that'll bring me up to date, but of course I'm opening another one tomorrow. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about that. Look at that. And it's pretty stretchy, so this is gonna block out like crazy. I don't know if it's common, but two things that I actually kind of enjoy about finishing, or at least don't hate. One is weaving in ends, which is a good thing because there's gonna be about 1,012,000. Let's see, all these ends that I have to weave in. But I don't hate doing that. It'll take forever, but I don't actually mind doing it. The other thing that I don't hate is blocking. I actually think blocking's kind of fun. It's not fun when it's 98 degrees outside and I'm pinning it out, standing out in the sunshine. That part's not fun. But I actually do enjoy the process of stretching it out and moving it into the shape that I want. So anyway, isn't that fun? I love this. Okay, the more I add to it, the more I like it. I've enjoyed it all along, but I think I'm really gonna like the look of it when I'm done. It reminds me of the style of it's something simple. It's just called the Advent Wrap. Is that right? The Advent Wrap? B. Devin Steiner. It's the one I've done before, and I get tons of compliments when I wear it, even from people who don't knit. It's just really cool, and it's pretty simple. That's a free one on Ravelry. I think we talked about it a few days ago, but the Advent Wrap by B. Devin Steiner. And great pattern and a real similar look. It's simpler than this, but it's really very similar kind of look where you have stripes of minis with a neutral color or whatever color you like, but a main color in between. But anyway, I'm excited about how this is turning out. What I am wearing, I'm actually getting a little chilly. It was relatively warm today. I had a jacket on for a good bit of the day, but running around and playing with puppies, I got a little warm. So anyway, this is, I think this is Piper's Journey. This is by, I know it's by Paula Emmons Feasley of the Knitting Pipeline. And this is worked, you work it from the cast on point, wherever that is, and you work garter stitch with increases just back and forth this way. And then the edge, there's an applied edge that is gorgeous. Don't you love that? I really like this. It looks a lot more complicated than I remember it being. I think I did it a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. The yarn is from a Knitting Pipeline retreat. It is from, I'll put the name of it in there. I'll think of it later. As soon as I shut this off, I'll think of it. But it was yarn that I got at a Pipeline retreat. And I can't remember what the name of the colorway is. It might be clay, but it reminds me of like red Georgia clay. So anyway, I like this one. Like I said, pretty sure it's Piper's Journey. And I like this. It's like a shawlette. I'll hold it up. You see that okay? Anyway, it was really fun to do and not terribly difficult. All right, now, drum roll please. I will put in pictures and probably some video right around here. But we drove up to North Carolina today to pick up puppies. And if you've watched the other videos, you're kind of aware that we're doing this. Our Pyrenees Abby died just a couple of weeks ago, and we had said we need to get more guardian dogs for our goats and chickens outside. And just generally on the place out here, it's kind of nice to have big dogs that'll bark if somebody comes around. And my husband had found these. They're not actually purebred Pyrenees, but it's close. There's like a great grandparent to these dogs that was a different breed, but they look like Pyrenees puppies to me. Their markings are even very similar to Pyrenees. Pyrenees are often solid white, but they're not, purebred Pyrenees are not necessarily solid white. They can have some markings. But anyway, these puppies have some markings, and we'll see if those fade as they get older. They may or may not. But it's fine with us either way. So these dogs are more than 90% Pyrenees. We got brothers because we kind of hated to have one dog up there. We had Abby, and for a while a neighbor's dog would come over and kind of backed her up. But we said if we're getting puppies, we should probably get two. That way they will, if coyotes or something come around, it won't be just one dog up there to defend the other animals. So my husband, the week that Abby died, he had found these puppies online, and he had talked to the lady that had them and had put a deposit on them. So anyway, we had made arrangements to go up there. He did, made arrangements to drive up there. It was just a little west of Charlotte, so we drove straight up from roughly central South Carolina, where we are, to Charlotte. We left about 10. We stopped for lunch. We figured it was better to go ahead and eat lunch rather than try to manage lunch and puppies. So we stopped and had lunch, and then drove her to the house, and we had a really nice visit with them. We just stood in their yard and talked to them and played with the puppies, and got to see their other dogs who were just gorgeous. The Mama Pyrenees is beautiful. So anyway, it was a really fun experience going up there. We put the puppies in the back of our old Nissan Armada. We bought it new in 2007, I think, so it's getting pretty old, but it's a great farm vehicle for hauling stuff that we don't want to put in the back of the truck, like puppies. So we drove that up there and rode back with the puppies, and got them home. Bentley is not happy, but I think we'll manage, and ultimately they won't live in the same space. Bentley will always be a house dog, and these puppies will, in a few months, they will start living with the goats. There's a big dog house up there, and it's all fenced in, so they'll be pretty secure up there, and they have good shelter up there, but they're not going to be house pets. They are going to be working dogs. So, but in the meantime, they need to socialize not only with the goats, but with us, so that they will respond well to us. With a guardian dog, it's different from something like a herding dog. A herding dog, they're the ones that'll like go out and round up sheep, that kind of thing. They're very smart dogs, but those dogs need to work with the shepherd. So they need to have some independence, but they need to respond to the shepherd's commands. Guardian dogs are less responsive to the shepherd, to the owner. Not that they're not trainable, they're generally good dogs, but their breed typically they need to think for themselves. So if they're out guarding animals, they're not waiting for a human to say, go stop that coyote. They have to respond quickly without a command from anyone. So they need to socialize and learn their herd. So in this case, it'll be us, but it'll also be the goats and even chickens. And if they are well socialized to those animals when they're young, they will learn very quickly, really throughout their lives, but they will typically learn very quickly which animals belong and which ones do not. So if a stray animal comes up, it will be chased off, potentially killed if it's a true threat, but typically they will just kind of stand there and be big and bark, and that will get rid of the vast majority of animals, and frankly people too. But anyway, the point of a guardian dog is that it's out there to guard their herd. Whether their herd is actually sheep or goats or whatever, or people, that's what that breed is intended to do. And so that's the behavior that you can generally expect from them. Obviously, there's variation within any breed about how they're ultimately going to behave. But all of that to say, for right now, they're going to be sleeping inside. We got a giant crate that's going in my son's room. My nose is itchy tonight, maybe from puppies. But there's a giant crate so that they'll be able to sleep inside. They're only about 2 months old, so while they're not tiny at all, they're very fluffy, but it's a little cold to say, go sleep outside right now. So they'll be sleeping indoors for the next little while, probably a couple of months. And then during the day, we have a covered porch kind of out that way, but it is a completely covered porch. It's not enclosed, so it's not really indoor space, but it is covered, so it's protected from wind and rain. And we're going to put a gate up out there, and they can spend time out there during the day so that we're not having to spend all of our time watching them. And also because of Bentley, it'll be a little easier to adjust if they have their own space. But that'll also make it so that it's easy for us to go out there and visit with them and play with them and give them some attention. So that is the plan right now. And I need to, excuse me, announce names for them. We got some great suggestions, and we really didn't decide for sure until we saw them. But you will probably not be surprised to know that we went with Buster and Keaton. We wanted something that works well as a dog name, something that works well for the pair because they're siblings, and that works well for us as a family, something that acknowledges something that we enjoy, which is old Buster Keaton movies. My children love Buster Keaton movies. They're fascinating. If you have never watched them, they're amazing old silent movies for the most part. He did his own stunts and got hurt a few times, actually, Buster. So anyway, that's how we chose a name, something that we really enjoy as a family and that I think works well for both of them. So hopefully you will get to see some video now of the puppies, and I'm hoping to get some better video over the next few days. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with me. And wow, this has turned out to be a fairly long video. Hopefully I can edit down just a little bit. But I appreciate you hanging out with me, and say hello to the puppies. Merry Christmas!